Hi, this is Debbie from Organic Oasis in Northern California, Zone 9B. So today I'm going to be cooking a delicious pasta dish, and it has sausage and spinach and my homemade spaghetti sauce, which I canned back in the summer when we had ripe tomatoes from Tomato Tim. And I actually can so much stuff in the summer that I don't have like a pantry, a cool pantry. So I keep them in the kitchen in my shelves, and I have, a lot of cans sitting up on the top shelf, and everything's pushed way back. And so even though I do an inventory when I make them, I kind of lose track of what I have up there. So the other day I was pulling something out and came across this spaghetti sauce, and I thought, oh my goodness, we haven't even eaten it yet. Like since the summer, we've had this can sitting up there. I have several jars of this. So I'm like, I have to find a recipe to make something with this. And I was craving pasta, so I created this sauce, and I created this recipe, and it's just cooking some sausage, sauteing the sausage, and cooking the pasta. I'll be cooking the pasta in my Ninja pressure cooker. It's actually I believe it's a 9-in-1. It's called the Tender Crisp, but it also has the pressure cooking option. So I'll be using that for the pasta, and then I'll be sauteing the sausage with some onion and using some of my pepper flakes, and then throwing some spinach in with the sauce. And basically that's it. And it should be delicious, and I can't wait. So it's going to have, it's kind of an all-in-one. It's going to have the protein. It will have spinach and the homemade spaghetti sauce. So stick with me, and let's see how to make this delicious dish, and we'll do a taste test at the end. Thanks for watching. So here is my Ninja Tender Crisp, and I'll be pressure cooking the pasta in here. So the first thing I'll do is plug it in. I'm going to add 12 ounces of pasta, and I'm going to use this penne pasta here, just 12 ounces. Pour it in, and I'll be adding 4 cups of water. So here goes my 4 cups of water, or about a quart of water, just enough water to cover the pasta. You can add a little bit of salt to this, that's optional. You can add a little bit of oil if you're concerned that it's going to stick. That's also optional. I'm just going to have my pasta with the water. Now on this, I need to put on my special lid that goes on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cook this pasta in here for half the time that it would normally have me cook it if I was boiling it on my stove. So this pasta required a 10-minute cook time. So I'm going to put it on pressure cooking for 5 minutes, half of the time that you normally would cook it if you were boiling it. So I've got this going, and I'll press start. So now it's preheating, and it will be cooking for 5 minutes. When it's done, I'll do a quick release on it and drain any extra water. So now that we have the noodles going, the pasta going, we're going to get our onion chopped up and do any other prep that we need to do. This is the last onion I had in my kitchen. It's got some bad spots on it. I'm just going to cut those off. So I'm going to cut off a few of the spots. I do like to peel my onions. I usually take off one thick layer, and see now the bad spots are already gone. Here's my sausage. I bought this at Costco, and I always buy Adele sausage, but I unpack it and put it in my freezer, and now I don't have the box that tells me what the name of this is. But it doesn't really matter. You can use any sausage you want. You can use Italian sausage. Then you would crumble it. You would, it's like a ground beef, so it crumbles up. I like to use the Adele sausage, and I like to slice it like this. I like my sausage to be in pieces. I like the texture of it. I like chewing the pieces of the sausage. So that's, I believe this was, it looks like it has some pepper in it. So I think this was a spicy, hot one. But it also looks like it has garlic in it. So it might be a spicy garlic pepper. It smells really good. So let's go over a few of the ingredients up close and personal. We have the sausage that I cut, Adele sausage. Got my chopped onion. Here's my homemade canned spaghetti sauce. And I'm going to go ahead and open it right now. If you can, make sure when you open up your jars that you smell it. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. It smells delicious. Okay, so we got our spaghetti sauce. Like I've said before, if you watch my videos, Kirkland minced garlic. I am growing garlic outside, but it's not ready yet. I've got my pepper, sea salt, and I have a video that I made on this pepper flakes. These are a must-have in the kitchen when you are cooking. These pepper flakes, I make them every year from my peppers. This is a mixed blend. They're awesome. And we're going to put baby spinach in here. Thanks to Tim running to the store to buy this for me, just the organics baby spinach. A lot of this can just be, ooh, my pasta is almost done. A lot of this stuff is going to be to taste, and you're going to be putting it in based on how you like it and how much you like it. So let's go ahead and start cooking. So I've got my green pan heating up here, and I'm going to put in a little bit of olive oil. I still haven't replaced the lid on this olive oil jar, so it's still leaking. I need to get a new one of these spouts. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to add my sausage, the sausage that I sliced up. Just going to go ahead and put it into the pan. And we're just going to saute this until it's nice and brown. Oh, that big bang, excuse me, that was my dog dropping his bone on our wood floor. So I have my heat on medium low, and we're just going to saute this just until it's nice and brown. My pasta is done, and I did a quick release on it, and you can see the steam is still coming out. Be very careful when you release the steam. And usually what I do is I take a towel and I throw a towel behind it and I kind of hold it to direct the steam away from my cabinets, because I don't want the steam to ruin the wood on my cabinets or chip the paint. I just got my pasta out of my Ninja pressure cooker, and it's all cooked and it's perfect. So now this is nice and brown. The sausage has been cooking. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the onion in. Now you can take the sausage out and just saute the onion if you want. That's an option. I just want to do this quick and easy, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to cook it all in one pan. I'm not going to remove the sausage. If my sausage gets well done, I mean brown, I actually like my bacon. I like my bacon really crispy cooked. I like things, when it comes to meat, I like everything well cooked. So I don't care if it gets a little brown. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil here. and start sauteing. We're going to saute this for about 3 to 4 minutes. Just to soften the onion, we want the onion to be nice and translucent. The onion is sauteing. It's sauteing for 3 minutes. And while it's sauteing, I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic. Again, this is to taste. So I'm going to put in about 2 heaping teaspoons. It calls for 3 cloves. I'm going to put in 2 heaping teaspoons and saute it in here along with the onion. I'm also going to add in my pepper flakes, and I'm going to go ahead and put in 1 teaspoon. Man, these pepper flakes are so strong that I almost have to cough when I inhale them. They smell so great though. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep sauteing this, get everything cooked nicely and soften the onion, get all those flavors mixed together. We want it fragrant and nice. I'm going to turn up the heat. So this has been sauteing for about 3 minutes. And now I'm going to stir in 2 cups of spaghetti sauce, my homemade spaghetti sauce. Now, you can put more in depending on how saucy you want it. I'm going to put in 2 cups now, and then I'm going to wait until I put my pasta in. What I want to do is add a little bit of pepper. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt. I do not salt my spaghetti sauce, so there's no salt in here yet. So probably 1 teaspoon will be good. I'm going to add the spinach now. We want the spinach. It's about 2 cups of spinach. I'm just going to add some handfuls of spinach, a couple handfuls. And you can add more. Once it gets wilted, you can decide if you want to put more in. So you can add a little bit more. You can also chop up your spinach just to make it easier to get it in there, to get it in the sauce. Maybe if you have children and you're cooking for your children, you might actually want to not put the spinach in if you think your kids, it's going to be a deal breaker and they're not going to want to eat it. I actually really like to load up my soups and things with the spinach or kale because I just want to get as much nutrition from my food as possible. I ended up chopping up some spinach and adding it in just to get a little bit more in here in smaller pieces. And now it's time to add the pasta. So I've got my pasta here. I'm just going to slowly start to add it into the saute pan. So I ended up moving my pasta dish to my bigger skillet. I thought about using that at the beginning, but then I thought this skillet is really old and not very pretty. So I wanted to use my newer green pan because it has a gold handle, and I thought it'd be a prettier skillet for the video. But I decided I need more space. I also want to add the rest of my spaghetti sauce, so I'm going to add 2 more cups of my spaghetti sauce because I want to really get the nice delicious sauce here. And the more I'm cooking it, it is reducing a little bit. It's thickening up, so I wanted more sauce. And as you can see, this pan it's a better size for this dish. Now I can even add more spinach. So I'm going to chop my spinach and put a little bit more in. Okay, I'm going to put in more spinach. This time I semi-chopped it. And I'm going to go ahead and saute it, wilt it. Then I will plate this up. We also need to put the Parmesan cheese on top. Isn't that looking pretty now? Yeah, that's looking beautiful. Look at this. So we're going to make sure the spinach is nice and wilted. And the last thing we do is when you serve it, you add the cheese. But just to make this look pretty, I'm going to add a little bit of cheese right on top of this. And then I'll add a little bit more when I put it in the plate. So I'm just using this Parmesan cheese. It's actually a really good Parmesan cheese. Kirkland has really good Parmesan cheese. So if you shop at Costco, your Parmesan cheese, I've just read an article on it. It's really good quality. Okay, so here we go. Is that delicious or what? Okay, this looks absolutely delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and stir some in here. Tim and I are starving. I think I'll do 2 scoops. And I will show you how they look in a minute. This is delicious. It's going to make, for Tim and I, it's going to make several more meals. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit more cheese on the top of this, on both of them. Not only will that taste delicious, but it looks pretty that way. Okay, here we go. I am anxious to try this. It's really good. I know I say this every time I use one of my canned products in a recipe. This is heaven. This is so good. You definitely should try growing tomatoes. They're not that difficult. You only need a few plants. Tim has like 55 that he grows, but that's because he loves growing tomatoes and I love canning them. But really, you only need to grow 1 or 2 tomato plants and you can eat them fresh with your salads. They're just wonderful. They taste totally different than the tomatoes you're used to getting in the grocery store. So I really strongly advise that you try growing a tomato plant. And Tomato Tim will be doing a whole video series planting them by seed all the way to transplanting them out in the garden. So stay tuned for that.